Welcome, everyone, to the NoDQ.com live recap of Monday Night Raw for February 9th, 2026. We continue on with the build for Elimination Chamber in Chicago. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. Let's get to it. We opened up the show with the arrivals. We had CM Punk with his wife, AJ Lee. Finally back on Monday Night Raw. Very random. She just came back one week. She has returned. This week's Raw was in Cleveland, Ohio, so not too far from Chicago. Pretty easy travel to get there. Becky Lynch, the Women's Intercontinental Champion, was witnessing AJ's return backstage, and she completely freaked out. She stormed to the ring. She said that she had a big announcement to make, but AJ has come back to her show, and now she's all pissed off. AJ Lee came down, big pop from the fans. She said that she wasn't there for Becky Lynch. She was there to support her friend, Maxxine Dupri. Becky said that AJ is like a little chihuahua. She just keeps barking, trying to ruin her life. AJ responded by saying that Becky got the championship back, so it should just be water under the bridge. But Becky said that there's no water under the bridge. There's no bridge. AJ then realized that Becky wanted a fight, so AJ said that it's been a decade since her last singles match. For her to do another singles match, it would need to be something really special, maybe a chance at a championship. Becky said, no, she's not putting the title on the line. And AJ said, well, no title, no match. And at that point, Becky, she was so angry that she did agree to the match. And Becky said AJ has no idea what she's in store for. And the match was officially confirmed for the Elimination Chamber in Chicago, which is interesting because there were rumors it would take place at WrestleMania, but we're getting it in Chicago at the Chamber. Now, of course, this could lead up to another match at WrestleMania. It makes sense being in Chicago. Easy, very easy commute for AJ to go to the United Center. So why not? Why not put this match at the Chamber? They could always do a final match or a rematch at WrestleMania. It was a solid opening to the show. Now, there's some news about Braun Breaker. If you've been following NoDQ.com, you know the story. Braun Breaker had hernia surgery after flipping over the announce table last week. Now, apparently this was an issue that he had with his hernia, and it finally got to the point where he needed to have surgery, and everything that was booked at the Royal Rumble was to set up WrestleMania. But now, Braun Breaker's status for WrestleMania is up in the air. He had the surgery. Now, a normal man might be out of action for over 2 months, 3 months maybe. But Braun Breaker, we all know he has those genetics. He's not normal, so we'll see if he comes back quicker than that and he's able to return for WrestleMania. Now, Michael Cole revealed that Braun Breaker was injured while training and is out indefinitely because of that. I feel this was a little bit of a weak explanation. In my opinion, I think that Adam Pearce should have just outright said Braun Breaker suspended again. Suspend him again until he's able to come back. Just saying he got injured in training. I get it. Breaker was hurt. They had to change plans, but it felt a little weak. Now, we had more on that in just a little bit, so we'll talk about that more shortly. We had our first match of the show, which was the Usos defending the tag team titles against Otis and Tozawa. It was a solid tag match. I mean, I never thought for a second we were getting a title change here, but it was a good match. Tozawa looked the most credible, perhaps, that he's ever been in WWE, at least since the cruiserweight days. Otis picked up Tozawa and tossed him outside onto the Usos. And then after the commercial break, Otis worked over both Usos. He went for the Caterpillar, and, well, Jay went for a super kick, did not really connect. He missed, and basically his knee connected with Otis. So, yeah, Jey Uso has 3 moves, and he can't even get the main one right. People are going to have a field day with that one, I'm sure. Usos came in, did a double super kick to Otis, but then he responded with a double clothesline. And then Tozawa came in with the double missile drop kick. Tozawa was on fire. He did multiple suicide dives to each side of the ring. Came off the top with the senton to Jimmy, but could not get the win. And then after Otis tagged back in, the Usos recovered. They delivered a double spear to Otis and then finished him off with the 1D. So Otis ate the pin in this match, not Tozawa. Very interesting. Both teams embraced after the match. All is good. Sportsmanship, yada, yada, yada. Where does Otis and Tozawa go from here? Great question. We'll see. Afterwards, the Usos cut a post-match promo, and Jimmy was hyping up Jey to try and go for the world title one more time, win the Elimination Chamber, and go on to WrestleMania. What a nice brother that Jimmy is, wanting to see his brother go and win another singles title. What a stand-up guy. I don't think that's going to happen, and it's interesting to me because it really is Jey in the spotlight here, and we already saw Jimmy versus Jey. Are they going to run that back again? I don't know what's going on here, but I'd like to see a top team being built up for the Usos at WrestleMania. Like, why not try to build up the New Day again? I don't know. They were nowhere near this show. I don't even think they appeared whatsoever. We had a Roman Reigns and CM Punk video package, and I should note too that Naomi is pretty close to giving birth, so maybe Jimmy just doesn't want to get all that involved right now. But you would think the Usos would have a match at WrestleMania and WWE would build up a top team for them. Anyways, CM Punk Roman Reigns video package, and then Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio came to the ring for a promo. Dominic had flowers for Liv, and she once again called herself the greatest women's Royal Rumble winner of all time. Stephanie Vaquer, with her new crappy music, interrupted, said that Liv talks too much. She must be a Botchamania fan. She spoke in Spanish, and Dominic didn't want to tell Liv what Stephanie said. Dominic responded by talking in Spanish, and Stephanie said that Dominic's a little bitch, and she hoped that Liv would pick her so she could kick her ass. But Liv noted that she's not rushing to make her decision. She called Stephanie a bad word in Spanish, and Stephanie responded by slapping Dom. Not a very hard slap, pretty weak one. She should have maybe laid it in a bit, but she was being nice. And that was the end of the segment. Stephanie, women's champion, waiting for Liv's decision. And my guess is we won't know for another week or two. They're going to let this one stretch for a couple weeks, let it play out, and then Liv will make her decision. But pretty clear to me it's going to be Stephanie. I would be shocked if it was, wouldn't make sense to be Jade, right? Now, backstage, we had Finn Balor saying that he wants the World Heavyweight Championship, and Dominic noted that the window might be closed for Balor to get another title opportunity, but Balor said he is tired of being an afterthought. Next up, we had Lyra Valkyria versus Rhea Ripley versus Ivy Nile in a qualifying match for the Women's Elimination Chamber. We had Ivy getting in quite a bit of offense, which really made me think she was going to be eating the pin. She German suplexed both of them. And then after the break, we had this Tower of Doom spot where Ivy delivered a German suplex as a superplex was happening. And then she put on the Dragon Sleeper to Lyra. Rhea broke up the pin, and then Lyra hit the Nightwing to Ivy, but Rhea once again broke up the pin, and then Rhea hit the Riptide to Lyra and got the 1-2-3 victory. Little surprised that Lyra ate the pin and not Ivy, but Rhea Ripley winning, definitely not a surprise. Fully expected her to advance to Elimination Chamber. Match was all right, nothing special, but it was fine. Then we had Finn Balor interrupting Michael Cole, and Michael Cole was supposed to interview CM Punk. Balor said that he knows CM Punk is hurt because he hurt him, and he feels like Roman Reigns is trying to take advantage of his kill. And he said he hasn't forgotten what happened a couple of years ago, actually more like 5 years ago. That's crazy. We're already four plus years since the Roman Reigns Finn Balor match where Finn Balor was on the top rope as the demon and the top rope broke, and that's how he lost the match. That's crazy how much time has passed. The time is moving too fast. Anyways, Balor once again said he's tired of being an afterthought. He wants his match at the Elimination Chamber. He said Punk beat him in his home turf, so now he's going to beat Punk in Chicago in Punk's home turf. But then Adam Pearce came out there and said, no, it's too late. The WrestleMania main event cannot be jeopardized, even though, there's 10 weeks until WrestleMania. You would think CM Punk would defend the title, but Adam Pearce is like, no, we have to protect this match. CM Punk stormed out there and said that Balor deserves an ass beating, but Balor said he'll only fight if the title is on the line, and Punk did agree. Pearce was furious. He was not wanting to do this, but then Punk said that he will chase Balor for the rest of the show, and Pearce finally agreed. He was reluctant, but he did agree. And it was confirmed for the Elimination Chamber, which of course got boos in Cleveland, Ohio. And Finn Balor took his leave. Michael Cole did the interview with CM Punk, wanted to know why Punk would jeopardize WrestleMania. And Punk made it clear. He is a fighting champion. He's building something. And he said Roman Reigns doesn't hate him. Roman Reigns hates the fact that he can't stop what Punk is about to do, make history, and then go on to defeat Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania. It was a good segment. I feel bad for the Cleveland fans that thought maybe they were getting a match there in the arena, but nope. It is set for Elimination Chamber. It's a filler match. Finn Balor ain't winning that title, but, Punk should be defending it before WrestleMania. But yeah, when you announce the WrestleMania main event so far in advance, now you're basically letting everybody know the title's not changing hands. I mean, we did have Rhea Ripley lose it last year, so it is possible, but yeah, Punk ain't losing until WrestleMania. Just ain't happening. We had Paul Heyman and The Vision backstage with Adam Pearce, and Heyman said that Pearce just pushed Breaker to the point that Breaker hurt himself, and Pearce said what's done is done, and he warned The Vision to not interfere in Austin Theory's Chamber qualifying match. And then Pearce made it clear to Heyman that it is a threat. This isn't just a warning or a suggestion. This is an outright threat. Do not get involved. And Logan got in Pearce's face and wanted to know what he was going to do about it. Remember, Logan Paul is from Cleveland. Next up, we had Natalya, or should I say Nattie, with her new music, her new attitude against Maxxine Dupri. Basically an angle, not even a match. Maxine put on the ankle lock. Nattie escaped, and then they went to the outside. Maxine reapplied it, but then got sent into the steel steps. And then Nattie threw Maxine into the ring post, cleared the table, put her on the announce desk, and then applied the sharpshooter. They got counted out, double count out. AJ Lee came out there to stop Nattie. Nattie did leave, but then as AJ was helping Maxine, Becky Lynch came in with a cheap shot. So it was just an angle to set up Nattie. They didn't want to have Maxine lose right away. And also they furthered the AJ and Becky feud. So it served its purpose. We had an LA Knight video package talking about looking to get revenge on the Vision, and it's going to start with a win in the main event. And then we had the Americanos, the blue and red guys, Bravo, and I forgot the other guy's name, going up against Javon Evans and the OG El Grande Americano. Fun little match here. OG was doing a lot of cool stuff, coming off the top with a double clothesline, double German suplex, which we did see a double German suplex earlier with Ivy Nile. And then Javon came in, got bouncy, and then the new El Grande Americano pushed the OG off the top rope, and Bravo went up top and was going to try to do a frog splash, but then as he jumped up, Javon Evans was on the opposite side and caught him mid-air with an OG cutter. Great spot here. This was really cool. The crowd popped huge for it with the OG cutter in midair. Kind of reminded me of when Ricochet and Logan Paul went, from each side of the ring and collided in the middle. Something similar to that, with Bravo going for the frog splash, and then Javon jumps up and catches him with the OG cutter. Definitely the spot of the night. And then OG came off the top with the flying headbutt and got the win. And then after the match, the new El Grande Americano attacked both of them, but OG managed to fight off new El Grande Americano and send him packing for now. So my guess is we will get mask versus mask. I don't know if they're going to save this for WrestleMania, but I could see them doing that. They could just throw it on the Raw after Mania. We'll see. But seems to be going in that direction. And I really do think that once this match happens, they should probably wrap up the gimmick. The storyline, I think, has run its course. OG can win, unmask the new guy, and then take off his mask, and then we're done, and we move on. But we'll see how long they drag it out. We had an Obafemi video package, so he is still a free agent, and they're teasing the idea that Raw and SmackDown are fighting for his services. They probably should have had him on Raw to do a squash match, but what do I know? We had Gunther backstage, and he is going to be in an Elimination Chamber qualifier. He'll be facing Javon Evans and Dominic on next week's Raw, and he vowed to walk out of WrestleMania as the new champion, so pretty safe to say Gunther wins this one. And then we had LA Knight versus Penta versus Theory, our main event of the show, another qualifying match. Penta got in a lot of offense, and they did this powerbomb superplex spot out of the corner, which was very similar to the German superplex spot we saw earlier. The guys that are producing these matches, they really should be trying to not do similar moves on the same show. Just my take. LA Knight regained control, and then he went for the BFT on Theory, but then the Vision did in fact get involved. What a shocker. Didn't see that one coming. Vision told not to interfere. Boom, they interfere. And they were out there. Bronson Reed came off the top with the tsunami. And then Adam Pearce ran down there with the Keystone Security. Austin Theory then was on the outside, and he hit a stop to LA Knight, went for the cover, but Penta pulled out Theory, and then Penta was sent over the announce desk. And then all of a sudden, we had the Masked Man show up and attack Theory with the curb stomp, threw him in the ring. LA Knight wins with the BFT. Saw a comment in the chat, LA Knight winning was meh. I mean, LA Knight was the right choice for me. He's the most over guy. I mean, Penta's over, but LA Knight is a guy they really should have been pushing to the main event quite a while ago. I respectfully disagree. I think Knight is great. He definitely doesn't suck. And that was the end of Raw. I thought the show was okay. It was a filler show for the most part, just setting up matches for Elimination Chamber, but nothing too memorable on this other than that OG cutter. That was the highlight. The rest of the show, you miss it. You really didn't miss too much. And as Brad in the chat pointed out, with these qualifying matches, it's very obvious who the winner is going to be. So far, we haven't gotten any swerves with that. So the show was fine. I'm going just 5 out of 10 for Monday Night Raw. To me, it was a very average episode of Raw. Nothing too spectacular, nothing too terrible. Just, your standard Monday Night Raw episode and content. So that's it for Raw. Thank you guys for watching. We will be streaming live Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific for the No DQ review as we continue to move along with WrestleMania season. I hope you guys enjoy it. Check it out. Say yes to NoDQ.com, and I will see you all next time.